guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is the ever so requested weight loss video. This is like my third or fourth time trying to record, so hopefully everything goes through. I feel like the universe knew that I hated my last few videos, and when I edited them and tried to upload them, I'm like, God, this is just not good at all. So I feel like the universe was like, this isn't gonna work for you, you need to redo. So I'm redoing, and I'm sorry this is probably gonna be like a week or two late, but it's better late than ever, right? So before I get into the video, I just want to go over a couple things. The first thing I want to go over is I'm using a different camera, so I might go from like looking at you to looking up because there's this little video at the top. So I keep looking to make sure I'm focused because, as you can tell, like I'm not in my normal background like my old videos. I'm actually at my parents' house in the room that I sleep in when I sleep over. So I'm trying to like figure out where to record. It was way too loud at Matt's house, and I mean, there's like a highway type, it's not really a highway, it's just like a main road in front of my parents, so you might hear that. But anyways, like I said, I keep like looking up, so I'm sorry if I'm not looking directly at you and I keep looking up at myself. I just can't help it. The next thing I want to go over is I have a speech problem. Some of you know, some of you don't know. I was in a car accident at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016. I was hit by a tractor trailer, and besides physically being hurt, mentally I was really hurt because I ended up with a concussion, and with the concussion came along some symptoms, which would be like memory loss, and my speech is messed up, and my speech is pretty bad, especially when I'm nervous or anxious. So that's why I'm trying to like breathe and take my time talking, because I don't want to mess up. I do correct myself a lot, and another thing that I do is I and a lot, like all the time, because I forget. And if you watched my videos from the past, I always tried to cut that out, because even before a concussion, I'm a human being. I can't think of everything, and I don't have a script for YouTube. I just go with the flow, so I forget a lot, but especially now with a concussion. So I have like everything I need beside me so I can remember and I won't forget. So if you see me looking to the side, it's because I have my laptop here, and it's just here to help me remember. It's not like a script or anything. Like I said, this is full-blown Bethany. This is me. I'm not going to try to perfect anything. Just coming back, and I'm being me, and I'm the best me ever, and I love me, and yeah, I just can't wait to show everyone who I am now. The last thing I want to talk about is I am not a professional. I am not a doctor, not a personal trainer. I'm not any of that. I literally started doing things that worked for me. And with that being said, what worked for me may not work for you. And that's okay, because every body is different. Everybody's metabolism is different. And that's just the way it goes. And what worked for me as fast as it did may not work for you as fast as it did for me. It might work slower, or it might work even faster. You never know. But please don't get mad at me if I give you all the advice and it doesn't work for you. You gotta take my advice and mix it with your advice. You gotta take my routine and my diet and mix it with your own, because we're different people, and what I like you may not like, and you don't want to force yourself to be on a huge lifestyle change and you're gonna hate it. You want to make sure you like it. So I was gonna talk about motivation, like what motivated me to lose weight, but that alone would take an entire video. It's really long and it's kind of personal, so I think once I gain the courage to want to talk and post about it, then I will. Until then, I'm going to keep this video basically just like diet and exercise, because that's what everyone really wants to know. Even though I do get asked a lot what motivated me, and I promise I will make a video about it. It's just gonna take a little bit. So anyways, I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna get right into the video. When it came to diet, it was really a challenge for me always. Like that was like the one problem I always had when it came to losing weight, was trying to find foods that I liked and that I didn't get bored of, because I get bored really easily when it comes to food. I don't like eating the same thing over and over again. I think that's just like the worst ever. So I started taking things out slowly. So I would say the first week I took out, what did I take out the first week? Milk. I took out milk immediately because I read so many benefits of getting rid of dairy. So I was a big cereal eater, cookie and milk eater. So I got rid of milk. milk like that. Now, I didn't get rid of creamer. I still use a dairy creamer. Sometimes I go to dairy free, but I can't find any that I really like. So that's like the only bit of dairy I have for the most part. Besides, like, sometimes I'll have some yogurt that has dairy in it, but for the most part I try to get dairy free everything. But getting rid of milk was like what I thought was going to be like the biggest challenge for me, was like milk and bread, and they were almost the easiest to get rid of. Milk, I just stopped eating cereal and I just didn't want milk anymore. I didn't want chocolate milk. I don't know, it was so weird, and people like don't believe me when I say that it was really easy to get rid of milk. Now, bread was harder because I love bread so much. I love bread. I love carbs. Carbs are like the best ever, but bread and butter, toast, like cinnamon toast, cinnamon sugar toast, jelly, like I love it all. So we actually, my fiance Matt and I, we bought this. It was like a fiber bread with like huge chunks of like oats in it. And it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the bread we wanted. So after a week or two of buying that bread, we eventually just didn't want it. We were like, I don't really miss bread. Like, we didn't really have it with breakfast anymore. So we were like, I don't miss it. So it was like by week 3, I was free from milk. I was free from bread. And I was free from most sugar. Now, sugar was hard. Sugar and salt are like my weaknesses. Sorry about that. So I'm back, and I was talking about how sugar and salt was the hardest part. Sugar and salty foods, they were really hard. I am a salt person. I love salt. I actually replaced using sea salt with pink Himalaya salt. I actually got my family to do the same because it tastes better and it's supposed to be better for you. I actually don't feel bloated and my fingers don't get all like big and puffy after I have it. I don't know about you guys, but anytime I had regular salt, sea salt, I was like bloated. My face was bloated, my fingers were bloated, my feet were bloated. It was just nasty. So now that I use that kind of salt, that kind of helps everything. So to get rid of sugar, it was more of like, I just started giving into my cravings. So if I like woke up one day and was craving a chocolate bar, I worked my ass off in the gym and gave myself a chocolate bar right after. And I know everyone's probably like, what the heck are you doing? My personal trainer, my chiropractor who was a personal trainer, and 3 of my other friends that I talked to were like, if you're really craving chocolate, eat it after your workout because your body is going to burn it off. And there's something in chocolate, especially dark chocolate, that's really good for your muscles. That's why they tell you to have chocolate milk after you work out. I don't know the benefits. Like I said before, I'm not a professional. I just have listened to everyone else's advice and I just kind of, you know, took it in for my own. But yeah, it was really hard to get rid of it. But once I started, you know, giving into my cravings, so again, if I woke up and I wanted sour cream and onion chips, I would make sure that I got sour cream and onion chips. It was usually like a smaller bag. I wouldn't go and get the large bag and like eat the whole thing. It would be a smaller bag. Instead of eating my entire house out like I normally would, I filled my void with what I was craving, because I'm a huge binge eater. I was diagnosed with a binge eating disorder last year and it was from my birth control. One thing that helps me with my binge eating is if I wake up and I crave anything, I eat it. I swear to God, I probably had McDonald's like 8 or 9 times the entire time I was losing weight, because I woke up and I was like, whoa, I want a crispy chicken snack wrap, or whoa, I really want some chicken nuggets. I really didn't crave burgers or fries or anything like that. It was always like their chicken, like chicken nuggets, crispy chicken snack wrap, like bad things. But then I'd always make sure, because I mean, you can't really work off bad food, but I'd make sure I work out extra hard because I didn't deserve those foods, but I knew if I didn't eat them, I would literally eat anything else in sight, even if it was all healthy food. You can't just like binge healthy food. It's not good for you. Another thing with sugar. When I was diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, I had heard that losing weight helped with your symptoms, along with like going on birth control and whatever, but also decreasing sugar, because every time I had sugar, my ovaries hurt, like my sides hurt. I felt so awful. So that was another reason why I had to get sugar out. And even if I have a chocolate bar after I work out, I'm still okay. Like, it's almost like my body's burning it off so fast that my ovaries are like, oh, okay, like you could have that chocolate and I'm not gonna, you know, stab you in the ovary right now. So yeah. Okay, I really loved my Fitness Pal. My Fitness Pal and my Fitbit are my favorite things connected. Fitbit's more for exercise though, so we'll get into that in a minute. My Fitness Pal counted all my macros, my calories. Like I said, I was really about calories in the beginning, and then my macros came later, like once I learned what macros were. And I'm not gonna get into that right now because I don't have that listed, so I'm not gonna like give definitions of things I don't remember. But yeah, my Fitness Pal was addicted. I was like, because it shows you the streak that you've been on. So I was on like, I forget how many days. It was like a 120-day streak. It was amazing. I broke it when I went to Mexico because I'm the worst and I forgot. I was like, you need to remember to at least go on the app every day. And I forgot because I was barely on my phone. So, you know, it happens. But I was on that a lot because it counted all my food, all my calories, all my macros, and then it would tell you if you ate like this every day, you'd weigh this amount in a few weeks. And yeah, like the number on the scale doesn't matter, but when you're losing weight, like when that's your number one goal is to lose weight, like the scale means a lot to you. And I don't care what anyone says. If like when I first started losing weight and people were like, oh, the number on the scale doesn't matter, like don't worry about that, I would roll my eyes so freaking hard because I'm like, oh, maybe they don't matter to you because, you know, you've already lost the weight and now you're happy where you are, so you feel good. But, you know, it mattered to me because every pound at the time mattered. It was about my health. I don't even know what my heaviest weight was. I definitely think I was in the 250, at least 240, but I'm thinking 250. My fiance, like, disagrees, but he straight up told me the other day when we were laying on the bed and he was like feeling my ribs. I'm like, oh, I feel so bloated. He goes, there was a time where you were laying down and I couldn't feel your ribs. So you're definitely not that bloated. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you could have let me know. I totally forgot what I was talking about because I interrupted myself. Fudge sickle. Fudge. I'm gonna have to shut this off and try to remember. Oops. Okay, I just turned my camera off so I can remember what I was talking about. So, ooh, don't do that. So I was talking about the number on the scale. Okay, anyways, like I was saying, to some people the number doesn't matter, especially now. Like to me, right now, the number on the scale doesn't matter because I actually gained 5 pounds, but it was 5 pounds of muscle, and I'm like 2 inches smaller than I was in July. So it's like, you know, I weigh 5 pounds more, but I'm more muscular now. So yeah, it's just weird. And now I go about how I feel and how my clothes feel and, you know, whatever. But before it was about the number on the scale. And, you know, it may not matter to some people, but to some people it does matter. So I'm not going to tell you that the number doesn't matter because it really doesn't. It really doesn't. You are beautiful no matter what that freaking scale says. Like, the scale will never define you. But if it matters to you, don't let anyone tell you differently, because I know how important it was to me. I remember getting down. I'm about to cry thinking about it. I remember when I stepped on the scale and it said 202 pounds. And I don't think anyone even understands how awesome that felt for me, because I'm trying so hard not to cry. Because I had been over 210 pounds the past, like, I can't even remember. When I met Matt, I was like 175, 180. And then I was like losing weight, so I got all the way down to like 165, 168. And then you get in a relationship and you get comfortable and you eat a lot of food and whatever. But when I, you know, was really, really obsessed with the scale and I saw 202, I was like, whoa. It made me so much more motivated to eat healthy when I saw, you know, such a low number. So if the scale means a lot to you, don't let anyone tell you differently. Sorry, this has nothing to do with diet, but I just wanted to put that out there because it meant a lot to me, you know, when I finally saw 198. And I know some people were like, 198 is really close to 200. You have no idea how long it's been since I've been under 200. So yeah, right now I think I weigh 188 total, and when I got back from Mexico I was about, I think it was 181, 182. So yeah, I gained some weight, but that's okay. Like, it's muscle, and even if it's not muscle, I'm a human being, and human beings gain weight and they lose weight, and that's just that. But anyways, back to diet. Now I'll just give you like some samples of what I ate. I actually like wrote an entire thing and I sent it to a bunch of people on Facebook, so I'm sorry if you're watching this and like this is just repetitive, but I'm sorry, it's literally what I did. For breakfast, if I actually ate breakfast, it was usually oatmeal, and it was like usually cinnamon oatmeal, you know, the quick oatmeal you can make in the microwave with some water, and then I'd add extra cinnamon, like a lot of cinnamon, because there's a lot of like awesome benefits to cinnamon. And then with that, I would have my Yogi detox tea, or I'd have warm water with lemon and honey. Okay, so for lunch, a Smart One meal with a large salad, or I started meal prepping in the beginning, like March and April, I meal prepped chicken. So I would just like put chicken in the crock pot for a day with a bunch of spices, make like chicken tacos out of it. I would add Greek yogurt and salsa. I know that sounds so weird, but I would mix that up and I would eat that with chickpea chips, and they have them all over. They have like store brands all over too, and I would eat that with the chicken and I would get so full. So this is all for lunch, but I really stuck with the Smart One meals towards the end because it was easier and I felt fuller, and I would have a large salad with it. Or sometimes I'd add that chicken in the salad and eat that, and if I felt it wasn't enough, I would have a Smart One meal. And then for dinner, I had whatever was made. So pasta, pizza, barbecue chicken, wings, I had it all. But let me just tell you, this is my tip. I didn't use a normal big plate. I used a medium-sized plate. Now when I used a medium-sized plate, it was like my brain thought I was eating way more. Yeah, my stomach had shrank, so maybe that was it too. But for the most part, especially in the beginning, it helped a lot. I felt fuller, you know, because everyone's like, oh, you need to, excuse me, like internally burping. Oh, I would eat pasta on a smaller plate because in my mind it looked like way more food. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's all in your mind. It really is. So yeah, literally anything that was made for dinner. And if I had eaten bad earlier in the day, that's usually when I would take the chicken breast I had meal prepped prior, or I would have a Smart One meal, you know. It just depended. Like, you know, if I knew I was going to be eating bad for dinner, I would have smaller portions, or, you know, or earlier in the day. Or if I ate bad earlier in the day, I would eat smaller portions later in the day. It's all about portions. It's all about, you know, your mental. It's all in your mind. So I believe it when they say it. Now, dessert. I would have about a cup and a half of Halo Top ice cream. Chocolate's my favorite, oatmeal cookie. What else? I think those are my only two faves out of those ones. And like vanilla, but I'm not like a vanilla person, I'm a chocolate person. I didn't like the cookie dough that much, or the Oreos and cream. They tasted a little funky to me, but that's diet. Like, that's all I did. It was really simple, and people are always asking for recipes. I really think I'm gonna make a video about some of the things that I made. They're so easy, and I know you watch videos and you always hear about that, but these are so easy. And if you knew me, like, I don't like to cook, I don't like to bake, so I always did everything to make it easier for me. Now we'll be moving on to exercise.